Playwright has just released 3 AI agents that are about to change the QA world. And those are Planner Agent, which will read and analyze requirements and break those down into testable scenarios, and even prioritizes task coverage. And that's just the first one. The second one is the Generator Agent, and that one will grab those test scenarios created by the Planner Agent and turn them into test automation scripts of Playwright. And the third one is a Healer Agent. If your scripts will break, the Healer Agent will fix them. Sounds amazing, right?
It sounds amazing. We just tried to implement it at the company that I work for in the US, and the results will surprise you.
Lucas, what do you mean?
I can show you some pros and cons based on my real job installation experience.
That would be awesome, but make sure to remind these people
to hit this big fat thumb up button below, to subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss professional tutorials like this one and latest market updates like this one right here. But first, let me tell you who I am and why you should trust me. My name is Lucas Smith. I'm a software development engineer in test at one of the fastest growing companies in North America. And I eat Playwright for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And today I will show you what these Playwright agents are. Now, let's get started. Okay, before we start, I want to tell you that when I first tried using Playwright agents at my job, it didn't work at all. And I really thought, man, this thing sucks. But then we figured it out, there was a problem. And at the end of the video, I'm going to show you what this problem was and why maybe you could be facing the same issue that I had that could not make it work, and how we resolved it and could start using Playwright agents in the right way. Playwright just released a new feature called Playwright Agents. And what is this? So now Playwright comes with 3 Playwright agents by default, which is the Planner Agent, the Generator, and the Healer Agent. And these agents can be used independently, sequentially, or as the chain calls, in the agentic loop. And I will show you in a second what this all means. So what is the Playwright Agent? So basically Playwright Agents is an improvement, or it's more like a new feature built on top of the Playwright MCP Server. And what is the Playwright MCP Server? If you don't know, MCP stands for Model Context Protocol, and it basically gives superpowers to the AI to do stuff that before it could not do. For example, accessing websites, navigating through pages, performing actions like I would do manually. So now I can ask my AI to navigate to, let's say, to my Codemify website and perform actions like clicking buttons, filling out forms and stuff. And before MCP was launched, the AI could not do this. So now the MCP provides this superpower to the AI, which gives us a lot more, let's say, abilities, a lot more power to build tests. So the Playwright Agents is this new feature which uses the MCP server for that. By the way, if you would like to have more content, more videos about Playwright MCP server, drop a comment below so that we know about it and we can record more content like this. Okay, and how do we install the Playwright agents? Basically, it's pretty straightforward. So if you come to the Get Started section, if you're using VS Code or Cloud Code or Open Code, it has the command for each of them. So I'm using VS Code, so I just copied this command. I came to VS Code and I ran this command, okay, on the terminal. And what it did, it generated on the GitHub folder the 3 chat modes. I'll show you in a sec what each of them are. And it updated MCP.json file, and it generated seed.spec file for me. So what is this all doing? So first, the chat modes. The chat modes are basically the instructions of what this agent will be doing. So here I have a description of what this agent does. So use this agent when you need to create a comprehensive task plan for a web application or website. Here are all the tools that this agent has available to use. And here are the set of instructions. So you are an expert web test planner with extensive experience in quality assurance, user experience testing, and test scenario design. Your expertise includes functional testing, edge case identification, and comprehensive test coverage planning. You will navigate and explore, then it says all the things that it should do, analyze user flows, design comprehensive scenarios, structure test plans, create documentation, and so forth. Then there's an application overview. Okay, and here are some test scenarios examples. So adding a valid to do and the expected result. So that's basically what it wants the test plan to, the structure of the test plan to come looking like, right? Then some quality standards for it. So like write test steps that are specific enough for any tester to follow. Include negative testing scenarios, that's very important. And ensure scenarios are independent and can be run in any order, which is nice. Always save the complete test plan as markdown file, which is basically .md file, with clear headings, numbered steps, and professional formatting, suitable for sharing with development and QA teams. Because the idea here is to improve our performance as testers, right? So we can generate a test plan in a few minutes and go through it, validate the scenarios, and then use this to share with the development team or with the product manager teams to basically create a test strategy for our application, right? And the other chat modes are pretty much the same thing, but for other scenarios, like the generator is specifically for generating tests. So you are a Playwright test generator, an expert in browser automation and end-to-end testing, blah, blah, blah. Right, I'm not gonna go through everything, but just to show you what it contains. So here you can see the example of the file, which is gonna be generated for using the Playwright syntax and so forth. And the healer, which is what will be fixing our tests whenever they fail. That's pretty cool, that's pretty awesome. So these are all just instructions that are gonna be available by default and used by default by the agents, okay? So how do we use it? So first thing, if you go to the seed file, so what is the seed file? The seed file is basically the starting point for what my agents are going to be doing, for the actions that they are going to perform. So if you are using fixtures or more advanced stuff with your test automation framework, you could set up those fixtures, import them here, and use them. For example, let's say I need to, by the way, if test automation, interview preparation, or job search feels overwhelming, I've been there. I've gone through Codemify more than 4 years ago, and I've landed a remote job from Brazil to a US company. Now I mentor others on the same path, and if you need help, you can book a one-on-one with our team using the links right below this video. To use my application, the starting point is that I want a specific user to be already logged in to the application. So I can import my fixtures here and do that step. And for example, the first step would be going to the home page as a logged in user through the fixtures, right? As I'm just doing this example using our Codemify website, I'm not gonna import anything besides, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna use this page, go to Codemify website, and that's all, right? That's my starting point for this example. So you can see that when I open the chat, it already has my current file as the context here. And when I come here to select the agent, I see now the planner, the generator, and the healer agents available, right? So I'm gonna start with the planner. So let's see the Playwright website examples, what it suggests us to do. A clear request to the planner, generate a plan. Okay, so let's say like generate a test plan for the Codemify homepage. Okay, and let's see what it does. Here you can see what it's trying to do. So it's using the Playwright Test MCP Server. It's grabbing from the seed file what it wants to do, where it wants to go, and so I'm gonna allow for this session, so I don't need to click allow all the time. Then it's going to navigate to the Codemify page. And now it will explore the interface further. It will interact with some key elements to understand the full functionality. It's pretty nice because it shows you what it's doing. So you can go read what steps it's taking, and then you can like confirm if it's going in the direction that you want it to go. Right, I'm going just going to allow everything that he wants to do, then we can check the results right afterwards.
2,000 years later.
All right, seems like it created the test plan, so perfect. I've created a comprehensive test plan for the Codemify homepage based on my thorough exploration of the website. Here's a summary of what I discovered and included in the test plan. So it describes the key findings, the test plan highlights. That's pretty cool. Let's take a look. So here's the file that it created for me. So Codemify homepage, comprehensive test plan. So there's the application overview. The Codemify homepage is a comprehensive QA education platform that provides information. Nice. So these are what the page contains. So it went through everything on the page. And here are some test scenarios. Navigation and menu functionality. Main navigation menu. Load the Codemify homepage. Verify main navigation menu is visible with the items. Click on courses. Verify submenu appears with program. Wow, nice. That's cool. The expected results. All navigations items are clickable and properly labeled. Submenus expand correctly when parent items are clicked. URLs change appropriately. Navigation transitions work smoothly. That's cool. Mobile menu toggle, so he wants to verify it for the mobile as well. Lead generation and contact forms, so he can verify the free lesson model form if it works. The contact information links. Scroll to footer. So all the things that we have on the bottom of the page. Course information display, course benefits, pricing. So nice. That's so we went through. I'm not gonna read through everything because it's a pretty big test plan. But what is amazing about this is how fast we can generate a test plan using this functionality. So I would have taken like hours, if not days, or at least one day, one full day to come up with a very thorough, comprehensive test plan of an application. Of course, this is a very simple homepage of a website, but if it's a more complex application with more functionalities and stuff to test, of course, it's tough to come up with a test plan, and then it takes longer. But this is amazing that we can come up with a test plan in such a short time, generated this in a few minutes, and then we can go through it all, validate what it's actually helpful in our case, what it's not, and modify as needed to our needs. Of course, we don't need to accept everything the AI gives us. We should always go through it, verify, and ensure that it is actually what we are expecting. But this is pretty nice. Okay, so let's now go over one test scenario and validate the other agent, which is the generator agent. So let's see. Let's go with the first one because it clicks on stuff, navigates to different pages, which I think it's pretty awesome. So, okay, so now we just copied this. So we created a brand new page for the chat. Now let's go to the generator agent and ask, create a test for the section of the test plan. And keep in mind that the test plan has to be added as context. So as I am on the test plan page, it's already as context here. So let's ask it and wait for the test. I'll create a test for the main navigation menu section from your test plan. Let me first set up a page and then execute each step described in the plan. Okay, cool. Let's see what it's gonna do. So it's using the Playwright Test MCP Server to navigate. So if you can check, if you expand here, you see the input. So it's grabbing the main navigation input and all the steps from the test plan to decide what to do. Perfect. Now let me read the test log and generate the final test code. So what it did, so we went through all the steps described in the test plan using the MCP server. So it actually navigated through the page, clicked the buttons, verified what happened, and now it's going to use all of that which was grabbed and stored in the log, and it will generate a test for us. All right, so test summary. The main navigation menu validates the key navigation. So it's describing the test steps executed, what it did, the expected results validated. Okay, and then we can see the test right here. So let's see. So it's already coming as a perfect Playwright test. So main navigation menu, it navigates through the Codemify page. It's expecting all these elements from the menu to be visible. Then it's clicking on the courses link, verifying that the submenu appears with program and schedule. Then it's clicking on program, verifying navigation to the programs page using, okay, cool. Then going back, clicking offers, and then verifying that submenu appears with these offers. That's pretty cool, that's nice. Now let's run this test and see if that works. So let's go through the Codemify. I like to run on the, we could run from using the Playwright extension right here. We're just clicking there, but I also like to run using the terminal. I'm a bit old school for that. So npx Playwright test, main navigation menu .spec.ts. So you can see it already generated a TypeScript file and not JavaScript. Main navigation menu .spec.ts. Okay, let's run that. One of the reasons I like to run in the terminal is that I like to see the HTML report after it runs right here. Okay, so the test failed. Interesting. So what we could do right here is basically we could try to understand on our own why is it failing. We could also use the copy prompt, which is a Playwright functionality, which is pretty nice. We just copy this and paste it to the agent to fix it. But now we are trying the new functionality. So now what we're gonna do is create a new clean chat and go to the healer agent. And let's ask it to run and fix this test. So the test is already added as context here, so it knows what I'm talking about. And let's see what it's gonna do for us. I will run and fix the Playwright test following the systematic debugging approach. Okay, so it will run the test now and see what's happening, why is it failing, and it will fix it for us. Okay, it already identified the first issue. Okay, so the locators were not unique enough, so it needed to add get by row link and specify the name using first. Okay, interesting. Okay, seems like it already thinks it fixed it, but it didn't run the test again. So test results test now passes consistently in Chrome browser. All navigation menu verifications. Okay.
A lot of people from this YouTube channel have asked me to help them to improve their English and their pronunciation, as they want to become tech professionals, but English is not their native language. So especially for people like you, I did open up this YouTube channel where you can learn and improve your English and particularly articulation completely for free. You can find a link right there. Let's continue.
What happens if we run the test again? Let's see. Wow, that was cool. The test passed so fast. Let's run it in headed mode and see if that is the case. Okay, it's clicking on the pages. Nice. Okay, so the test is indeed passing. So we can see that the healer did fix the test for us. That's amazing. What we could do is tweak it a little bit and make it break for some reason and then see if it will understand what's going on. So let's see, expect. Let's make it try to click on something else like this. Click on program, submenu. Let's change this for something like click on surgery and let's see what's gonna happen. Okay, there's something weird going on because it's passing. Why is it passing? Expected page get by row, menu item name program to be visible. I should have saved probably. I did not save. I think I don't have the autosave enabled. Let me run again. Yeah, now it's going to fail. So it's trying to click on Sergi, but we just see Sergi's face, but not his name. So that's the test is going to fail. Right, so I tried to click on Sergi. It didn't work, of course. Now let's ask the healer. I'm going to create a new clean context here. Run and fix test. Okay, so it understands why the test is failing. This is just alerts incorrect. Let me debug the test to understand what's happening on the page. So it's going to look for what's actually available there. When the course means clicked, some menu appears with the options program schedule. However, the test is trying to click on the menu with the name Sergi, which doesn't exist. So it's looking at the comments. It's going to understand why it didn't work, where it's actually trying to click, and then it will probably update the test for us. Okay, it will fix it. Cool, okay, fix the test. Now it's going to run the test again. Let me keep the suggestion. And it's saying that the test passed. Okay, the test is passing consistently. Let me also check if there are any other issues by reading through the test file to ensure everything looks correct. Perfect, the test file looks good now. Let me run it one final time. So nice, it's running multiple times to see if it's actually stable enough. And then it explains to us what happened, what it did, how it fixed it. Let's run the test one more time to be sure it's working. And boom, the test passes. That is amazing. So we can see that the healer actually works and it can fix a test on its own for us. This is really nice. We didn't even had to look through the logs to the HTML report to see why it failed. We didn't have to click any copy prompt or whatever. We just had to ask, run and fix the test. That is pretty awesome. So let's go back and understand what we did. So the first thing we did was generating a comprehensive test plan for the whole Codemify homepage website, right? So it created all test scenarios. We could come here and ask the generator to generate tests for all the scenarios here, and it would do it, but of course it would take much longer, so it's not enough time on a video to show it all. So I just wanted to show a quick example of what is possible to do with it. So we have a nice test plan with a lot of test scenarios that we can go through and understand what is valid for our use cases. Then we used the generator to generate a test for one scenario here. So you can see that it used the Playwright best practices like using get by role, links and stuff. The first test failed because the locators were not unique enough. Then we used the healer agent to fix the test for us, and then it ran the test, understood why it was failing, and fixed it automatically. That is amazing, because how much time can we save in our day using these tools? That is pretty awesome. Now I'm going to explain what was the problem that we had when I tried to start using Playwright Agents for the first time at my job, and why it was funny to see it not working actually. So when you would come to the agent here and select either the planner or the generator or the healer, doesn't matter. If you would check the chat mode file, for example here, all the tools were highlighted in yellow and there was an error, and we didn't know what it meant. It was a bit hard to understand. But the problem was because there was an issue with the VS Code version, the agent, the chat mode, could not have access to any of the tools. So basically the tools were showing up here, but it was the same as if you would come here, for example. Okay, so I can see the tools that it has access, right? And then if I unselect all of them, you see 0 selected, they're all gone, right? So even though the tools were showing up here, it was the same as if the agent didn't have access to any tools to perform any action. So when you would come and ask something, it would 100% hallucinate. In other words, it would show you, it would tell you that it was doing things when actually it was not doing anything. Maybe I can show you an example. So if we open the task plan Let's ask the generator to create a test for us and see if it does anything. So let's see, generate a test for this from the test plan, right? So let's see what it does. Okay, I'll generate a test for the main navigation menu scenario. Your test plan will start by setting up a page. Now I will execute each step from the test plan. Okay, so it's trying to invoke something here and it's not doing anything. The first time, because I'm already on the correct version of VS Code, so maybe that's why it's not showing the same thing I saw the first time. But basically it would, oh, you see, now let me generate a log. See, it's actually saying that it's even like messing up with the, it's not even showing the code all inside the code block. So it's giving me the important the test describe as text, general text, and then it's creating something. But okay, I already have a test for this at my code base, so maybe that's why it's grabbing, that's where it's grabbing this from. And it's saying that it generated, successfully generated a comprehensive test. But you see that it did not navigate to the Codemify page, it did not click any button, it did not do anything. So the first time I tried, that was what was happening. For example, if you would select the Planner agent, it was saying, I generated a comprehensive test plan for you with all the steps and everything, but there was no file, nothing coming up. Probably now because I'm already on the correct version of VS Code, that's not happening exactly as I saw. But you can still see that it's not working properly. So the problem was the access to the tools that it did not have. The thing is that you should be on the VS Code version 1.105. That's the latest version that came out, which fixed that issue. So if you are on any version below this, Playwright Agents will not work properly for you. So please first update your VS Code version, and then after that, you can start using Playwright Agents in the right way. If you had any problems or anything running agents, also please drop a comment here and we can also try to help you out. And that's it. We see you on the next video.